My wife got medically retired at 38 and decided she was no longer my wife. 2 years later, she wrote across my letter in red marker and told me to go find it elsewhere. Then she was shocked when I did. Delphine was a firefighter 11 years. It wasn't a job to her, it was the whole architecture of who she was. She hurt her back at a structure fire the spring we'd been married 4 years. 2 surgeries and 18 months later, the department retired her out on disability. I was in the room when the doctor said permanent. She didn't cry. She looked at a spot on the wall behind him and nodded once and didn't say a word on the drive home. I thought we'd get through it together. I told her she could teach, she could do fire investigation. She didn't have to do anything at all if she didn't want to. I told her I married her, not the uniform. She shut down completely instead. She said she wasn't a partner anymore. She was a patient, and she wasn't making me live like a nurse. She moved into the spare room that week, and that was the end of the discussion. 2 years. 2 years of separate rooms. 2 years of her pulling her hand back when I reached for it on the couch. 2 years of eating across from a woman scrolling her phone. I tried everything. Flowers she thanked me for like a delivery driver. Reservations she canceled the day of. A weekend up north she agreed to, and then didn't get in the car for. She wouldn't do couples counseling. Said there was nothing to talk about, so I went by myself for a year and a half. My counselor suggested a letter, something she could read alone, without me sitting across from her. I worked on it 6 weeks. My counselor went through it line by line to make sure nothing could land as pressure or guilt. I told her I loved her, that I missed her. Not the version from before, the actual one down the hall. That I'd go to any doctor, any counselor, any appointment for as long as it took. That I was living in a house with someone still alive and still gone. I left it on the kitchen table with her coffee mug on a Thursday morning. When I got home, it was still on the table, red marker across the whole page. Then go find it somewhere else, because you are not getting it from me. She'd taken a bag to her sister's for the weekend and didn't answer her phone. I sat at that table an hour looking at her handwriting on a letter I'd spent 6 weeks on. Some of it was anger. Most of it wasn't. Mostly I just felt scraped out. And then I decided I was going to take her at her word. I'm not a guy who picks people up in bars. I'm 41, fine looking, I hold a conversation, and that's about the end of my abilities. It took 4 months. I met Rania at a 3-day training in Cleveland. Same table at lunch, 2 days running. She knew I was married in the first 10 minutes because I told her. She was 8 months out of a divorce and not looking for anything either. We were 2 people who knew what it's like to be in a room with someone who won't look at you. For a long time, it was just talking. Somebody who laughed at things I said. Somebody who seemed glad I'd walked in. In February, after a dinner and 2 drinks, it stopped being just talking. I didn't hide any of it. I left my phone face up on the counter. I didn't delete a message or clear a call. I didn't invent errands. She'd given me permission in writing, in red, in her own hand. 6 weeks went by, and my wife never said one word. She watched me leave in a good shirt. She watched me look at my phone and smile, which she hadn't seen in 2 years. She watched me come home at 11. Then on a Tuesday night, I came in around 10, and she was on the couch with my phone in her hand, crying so hard she couldn't get a full breath. She looked up and said, "I didn't think you'd actually do it." I stood in the doorway with my keys. "You wrote it across a letter I spent 6 weeks on." "I was angry," she said. "I didn't mean it like that. I thought you'd know." "Then tell me what you did mean, because I begged you for 2 years. You wouldn't go to counseling, wouldn't see a doctor, wouldn't have one conversation. What was I supposed to do with that?" She didn't have an answer. She just kept saying she thought I'd fight harder, that she never once believed I'd actually go. I told her I never gave up. She did, in the spare room on a Tuesday 2 years ago, and she got angry when I finally believed her. Now she wants counseling. Now she wants to try. I don't know if there's anything left in me to bring to it.